Hi, my name is Kim Dong-woo from Songbok Middle School, and I'm going to talk about the study of brand integration as effective strategy for PPL. On the abstract, we are going to say which PPL is good and which PPL is bad, just the clarification of the theme PPL itself. And if I go to introduction on PPL, it'd be more clarified to defining the successful and unsuccessful PPL. When you call a PPL successful, it needs to make or have a lot of elements that unsuccessful PPL doesn't. One of them is brand integration. Brand integration is an effective and cohesive way to show that a product is really into or melted into the storyboard itself, so that the viewers know the product unconsciously and remember even further than any other types of merchandising. However, unsuccessful PPL can give viewers not only the hatred of the product itself, but also the movie itself. So it's a bad cycle that a very successful and direct PPL can hurt the movie and the product itself. So I saw Castaway as one of the greatest examples to show the brand integration, and I made an analysis to show which part was effective and which part made viewers to remember the two main companies of the PPL. If you look at the Castaway, there are two main companies that is mainly performed in the movie. First is FedEx. From the beginning of the story, before he gets deserted in the island, FedEx becomes kind of like the main sponsor of the movie, and the main character Chuck, or Tom Hanks, is a FedEx man who is very diligent, which shows that most of the FedEx men are very diligent and they work hard to deliver their products. And those kind of things melt or dissolve into the story very naturally, just like the Lifetime, which gets sympathy from the viewers. And then the story moves on, and when he gets deserted in a certain island, a certain product that the movie faces moved from FedEx to the Wilson's Volleyball. Wilson's Volleyball becomes a true friend or true ally for Tom Hanks, who always listens to Tom Hanks and stay with him until he gets out of the island. And everybody liked the moment that he really misses his old friend Wilson as a volleyball, and those feeling of loneliness is very forteed by the movie. So I decided to make a further study to show why loneliness can be very important in certain kind of movies or society itself. Loneliness is a feeling of solitude where you feel quite negative about it because you are alone. However, if you change the thinking, it can be a very good way to reinforce yourself and make you a better person as a social person. So I decided to make a creative example based on the feeling loneliness on Nighthawk by Edward Hopper. And on the book by Olivia Liang, Lonely City, it shows a brief showcase of a brief explanation of loneliness. And it says, in the painting of Edward Hopper, no one is talking, no one is looking at anyone else, but the painting's brilliance derives from its instability, its refusal to commit. This painting shows probably the most positive ways that loneliness can have. And I wanted to forte on those kind of feelings that I got when I watched the painting itself, and I emphasized and made it into a PPL of a imaginary suit brand called Hook. And Hook gave an ideal suit that men can wear even though they are lonely, alone, or with together anybody, but to make you shine instead of someone else. And I made a forte on that so that many of the people who feel sympathy on being lonely or being solitude can buy the product by their sympathy and the naturalization that it has. In this story, I mainly focused on brand integration as well as chapter 1. So based on chapter 1 and chapter 2, on the conclusion, I wanted to give a business model for Korean dramas PPL industry. When you look at Korean PPL, you can easily find out that it's very excessive and very direct. And for me, it doesn't really make sense that in a certain scene, there is no need for PPL, but the PPL just comes out. So based on the analysis, I give a successful business model called brand integration in Korean PPL industry to be focused and concentrated on the storyboard itself and put the products naturally uninterrupted to the story, and make people feel sympathetic and to remember the product and the movie itself together, so that people can buy them for a long period of time and then they miss the product itself, which leads to the coexistence of industry and art itself. Thank you.